Hi everyone, I'm Avni and I welcome you to my channel. So today I'll take you on an epic journey through the history of LGBTQ plus rights in India. Buckle up because this story is filled with dramatic twists, legal battles and moments of triumph. Let's rewind to 1533. Thomas Mockley drafts the Buggery Act, a law that criminalized unnatural sexual behaviors including homosexuality in the British India. This act sets the stage for centuries of oppression, introducing the term buggery to the legal lexicon. Now, fast forward to the early 1990s. In November December 1991, a group of brave activists from the AIDS Bhedbhav Virodhi Andolan ABVA published a groundbreaking study. This report was authored by Arun Bhandari, Dr. J.P. Jain, Jagdish Bhardwaj, Lilita S.A., Dr. P.S. Sahani, Shalini S.E.N., and Siddharth Gautam, highlighted the harsh realities that were faced by LGBTQ plus individuals in India. The demand for change began to ripple through the country, focusing on the notorious Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code. In May 1994, ABVA took a bold step by filing a writ petition in the Delhi High Court. They aimed to challenge Section 377's validity and push for free condom distribution. Despite facing resistance from Kiran Bedi, the Inspector General of Tihar Jail, the petition did not succeed at that point of time. But December 2001 marked a turning point. The NUS Foundation, that is a dedicated NGO that focused on sexual health, filed a public interest lawsuit in the Delhi High Court. They sought to decriminalize homosexuality, igniting a legal battle that would become a beacon of hope for many. However, the journey wasn't really smooth enough. In September 2004, the Delhi High Court dismissed the lawsuit due to the absence of a legally recognized cause of action. The NUS Foundation's review petition was also rejected, therefore, but the fight was far from over. In 2006, the Supreme Court reviewed the case, renewing hope for justice. And one of the most significant victories came with the case of National Legal Services Authority, NALSA versus Union of India. Judges K.S. Radhakrishnan and A.K. Sikri issued a directive to the legally recognized gender identity, marking a monumental step forward for transgender rights in India. In 2018, the Supreme Court of India made a historic decision in the Navtej Singh Johar case. This case challenged the validity of Section 377 of the Indian Penal Code, a law that criminalized consensual homosexual acts. But what was the court's verdict? So, Section 377 was deemed unconstitutional because it violated multiple provisions of the Indian Constitution. This ruling overturned a previous decision that upheld the discriminatory law. It was a major win-win for LGBTQ plus rights advocates in India. But the legal journey of Section 377 has been complex enough. It reflects India's evolving stance on LGBTQ plus rights, paving the way for more inclusive frameworks, but the fight did not really stop there. Very recently, last year, the Supreme Court dismissed petitions seeking the legalization of same sex marriages in India. This decision has sparked nationwide debate about marriage laws and LGBTQ plus rights. The court emphasized that while marriage is not explicitly a fundamental right under the Indian Constitution, legislative reforms are needed to ensure really equality. The Supreme Court's ruling delivered by the Constitution bench highlighted a split decision, that is a 3:2 majority against granting constitutional legitimacy to same sex marriages. The Chief Justice of India underscored that the power to amend marriage laws rests with the parliament and state legislatures. However, the court acknowledged the evolving nature of marriages and affirmed the rights of the LGBTQ plus individuals to form unions. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution protects the right to life and personal liberty. Over the years, judicial rulings like the Safin Jahan case have affirmed that the freedom to marry is intrinsic to Article 21. The Navtej Singh Johar case of 2018 granted equal citizenship and legal protection to the LGBTQ plus community, marking a significant step towards inclusivity. The Special Marriage Act of 1954 is crucial in this debate because it provides a very secure framework for marriage, allowing couples of different religions to marry without adherence to personal laws. Despite this, the question remains about its adaptation to recognize same sex marriages under the Indian law. The Supreme Court's ruling has prompted discussions about the intersection of marriage laws and LGBTQ plus rights in India. While legislative changes are awaited, ongoing dialogue is essential to uphold the questions remain principles of equality and personal freedoms. The courtroom was abuzz with arguments for and against legalizing same sex marriage. Let's start with the advocates first. Proponents argue that marriage is a fundamental human right, regardless of who you love. So, denying same sex couples, this right perpetuates discrimination and diminishes their dignity. It sends a message that their love is somehow less valid, perpetuating inequality in the country. This argument resonates deeply with the need to rectify this injustice and recognize the equal worth of LGBTQIA plus individuals. Moreover, legalizing same sex marriage is believed to strengthen families and communities. It grants couples crucial social and economic benefits, fostering stability that enhances familial and communal ties. Even the Chief Justice of India has acknowledged cohabitation as a fundamental right, emphasizing the societal importance of recognizing same sex partnerships. This step towards including inclusivity promotes a culture of diversity and acceptance, crucial in today's evolving society. But another significant aspect was raised, that was the evolving understanding of gender. So, the Supreme Court's recognition that gender is not simply biological highlights the diverse spectrum of gender identities beyond traditional norms. The shift aligns with global trend towards openness and diversity, advocating for equal rights and challenging outdated perceptions. On the other side of this debate, opponents often cite religious, cultural, and societal beliefs against same sex marriages. Many argue that marriage should strictly adhere to traditional definitions, typically defined as unions between a man and a woman. For these groups, altering this definition challenges deeply held convictions and threatens the sanctity of marriage as they perceive it. Concerns about procreation are also relevant among opponents. Some argue that marriage's primary purpose is reproduction, suggesting that the same sex couple cannot really fulfill this natural order. This perspective underscores the traditional role of marriage in family lineage and raises valid concerns about societal norms. Legal complexities further complicate this debate. Opponents express fears about inheritance, taxation, and property inheritance if same sex marriages were legalized in India. They argue that modifying existing laws would introduce intricate legal challenges, potentially disrupting established legal frameworks. Another poignant argument against legalization is centered on adoption. In societies where acceptance of LGBTQIA plus individuals is not universal, opponents fear that children adopted by same sex couples may face social stigma and discrimination. They contend that this may not be in the child's best interest, highlighting the complex intersections of legal and social factors. The debate on same sex marriage in India is rich with diverse viewpoints, reflecting a clash between entrenched beliefs and evolving societal norms. To achieve a balanced resolution, respectful dialogue is really essential. By carefully considering these arguments, we can shape a future that upholds the rights and dignity of all individuals, regardless of their sexual orientation. Over the recent years, an increasing number of nations have embraced laws recognizing same sex unions. This shift is not just geographical, but driven by collaborative efforts of transnational LGBTQ activists and globally networked policy elites. Take Denmark, for instance. They embraced it in 1989 and Canada in 2003. Their adoption of same sex union laws set precedents that resonates globally, illustrating that how policy convergence transcends borders. But why does this matter to us? Well, recognizing same sex unions as a fundamental right aligns with sustainable development goals. So, here we're going to talk about a few sustainable development goals. That is, first is SDG 5, which says gender equality. Now, it ensures that everyone can marry and form families without discrimination based on sexual orientation, fostering a more inclusive society. Second is SDG 10, so reduced inequalities by reducing disparities based on sexual orientation and reaffirming our moral duty to uphold human dignity for all. Cultural sensitivity integral to a peaceful world aligns with SDG 16, peace, justice, and strong institutions. It promotes respect for LGBTQ plus rights, advocating against discrimination and creating societies where diversity is celebrated. Intersectionality, addressing how different forms of discrimination intersects, aligns with SDG 5 by advocating for the elimination of all forms of discrimination, thus promoting genuine progress towards gender equality and justice. Cultural exchange is one of the other factors which plays a really important role in promoting tolerance and respect for diverse identities, crucial for reducing inequality as per SDG 10. It fosters empathy and understanding across cultures, contributing to peaceful and just societies under SDG 16. Transnational activism for LGBTQ plus rights spans borders, aligning with SDG 5 and SDG 10. It strengthens institutions globally, advocating for just policies and equal rights irrespective of gender or sexual orientation. So it was all about global citizenship, because as a global citizen, you must think what is right or wrong. And now, as we conclude this epic journey, let's remember that the fight for LGBTQ plus rights is far from over. It requires each one of us to champion equality and justice in our communities and beyond. Together, we can create a future where love, respect, and human dignity prevails. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful discussions on important social issues. Thank you.